Hey, badass business owners, welcome back to the show. If you have a small business serving your local community, then you are in the right place. My name is Tammy, and I'm here to help you blow up your business in that community. Now, what I want to talk about today is what I call the 5-mile rule. And this is that. Stop chasing business. Stop chasing business all over town. Stop driving 20, 30, 40 minutes, an hour away trying to chase business. Quit telling me that you're going to open up a business that's, in another town right off to the side. Listen, if you don't own and dominate the city you're in, you need to stop. Do not pass go. Don't keep traveling and doing all that. Why are you spending wasted time? Okay, so you're losing money because you're wasting time driving, you're ruining your vehicles, you're spending money on gas, which by the way is crazy at this moment, but granted gas goes up and down. Never mind the fact that you're not servicing the vast majority of people in your own local community. And if you don't believe me, figure out how many jobs you did last year, okay? And then do some homework and find out how many people live in your town, how many households are in your town. You're going to find that you probably service anywhere between 3 to 5%, if you're lucky, of the homes in your local community and the people that live there. You have to know who your ideal client is. Part of the problem, part of the reason is you think you need to travel all over the place and you need to go everywhere is because you've never really fine-tuned and mastered working on that 5-mile radius. And the reason I call it a 5-mile radius is if you take any big box retailer who serves a community, okay, or a fast food place or a grocery store, they all do something very similar to this. They might call it something different. This is what Tammy calls it, the 5-mile radius. But what they do is they put a location in place knowing their main goal is to get the people that live within 5 miles of that. Now, I'm not talking about a store that's in Timbuktu in the middle of nowhere. Yes, they're going to pull from miles away and know that people are going to drive hours to get to them. That's not the type of business the vast majority, if not all of you have. What you have is you have a community business and you need as many people in your community to do it. If you take a typical neighborhood or pocket, there's going to be anywhere from 1,000 houses, maybe on a low side, 600, 500 houses, up to 2,000, maybe even larger. And if you think about how many people in that community could use your business if they knew about it. But here's the thing, just because you put your name out there doesn't mean that they're going to think about you. Because what happens is, they don't need you till they need you. They don't think about you till they need you. And then when all of a sudden they need your services, that's when they're going to start thinking about it. And whoever is in their head first wins. And typically what they're going to do is they're going to talk to their family, their friends, their neighbors, whatever, for a recommendation, which means you have to be in their minds. So if you, by focusing on that local community and you're somebody who is always in that community helping people, then guess what? You're going to be the name that bubbles up because majority of people that they're going to talk to are going to tell them about you. Now, a couple things have to happen. One, you have to get crystal clear on what it is that you do. Who do you serve? You can't just be a landscaper. You can't just be a dog walker, a window cleaner. Whatever type of business you are solving a pain point. You need to be crystal clear on what pain point that you solve for people. Don't try to be a little bit of everything. Don't try to just say that, hey, I do everything under the sun. If they're looking for someone that can cut a palm tree, how can you be known as the person that can get in there and cut that palm tree, that you're the palm tree person? You'll be surprised that by focusing down and narrowing down, how many more jobs you're going to get because you're the first person and the only person to pop to mind when they're thinking of that specific thing. So you want to make sure that you build that brand. There's a lot of people that have built fantastic businesses and have never spent a dime. And the way they do it is they focus 100% on their community. They don't try to go out to the other communities. And what happens is by word of mouth and by planting those roots and really focusing on getting to know the people in that community, they're able to build that business. And over time, they might put a car wrap on their vehicle so people know it when they see it. But they don't try to go everywhere. And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to pick, let's just say there's, for example, in my small town, there's 18 subdivisions. All right. I would not, and by the way, the majority of the town will fit into a 5-mile radius right now. There's some outskirts, acreage areas and everything else, but the vast majority of the homes are within a 5-mile radius. And I wouldn't even tell somebody to focus on all 5 miles. I would say, hey, pick a subdivision or two and really focus in on how are you going to build a reputation in those subdivisions. Now, that doesn't mean the other people in the other subdivisions aren't going to hear about them. It just means that when they're focusing their attention on those 2 or 3 subdivisions, guess what? They know people who live in town who live in other subdivisions that are going to reach out to them and say, hey, do you know the best carpet person who I can use? And because they happen to be talking to someone who lives in one of those focus subdivisions, they're going to go, oh my God, you totally need to use X because X is the greatest carpet cleaner in the world. They do my carpets. So by focusing on those 2 or 3 areas, what's happening is they're able to impact people who know other people within that entire town and can help get the message out. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is I need you to focus and really dial down. I know it's going to sound, you're hungry, you're starving, you need more money, and you just want to chase every job. And I get it. When you're first starting your business, you're chasing all kinds of jobs because you're trying to get experience, you're trying to get some money in your pocket and everything else. But as things you start to get the hang of things, I promise you, and honestly, even if you're new, you should start this way. Start focusing in on certain communities. Really dial down who it is that you serve, what pain point that you solve, and really go after those individuals. You know what? You need to stand out from your competition. I talk to people that are trying to start their business all the time. And one of the things that I really encourage them as part of their research is to research what their competitors are doing. And when you look at your competitors are doing something really well and they're doing things that are poorly. And the way you're going to stand out is to really say, hey, this is what I do differently. Or instead of trying to be everything like your competitors, pick one thing that you can stand out with and really go after that. But my biggest thing is this whole 5-mile thing. You've got to stop wasting time, money, and gas running all over the place. People go, oh, I want to go over to this city and I want to dominate it. Okay, how are you going to dominate that city when you don't even dominate the city you're in? Nor have you ever really tried. What's going to be different? Why are you going to drive 20 minutes away or 30 minutes away to dominate that city? I can guarantee you there's people in that city that can dominate that city if they ever tried as well. Focus on the one that you're in. Focus on that 5 miles. You're going to make different decisions. You're going to spend your time more wisely. And by the way, you might just get home at a decent hour at the same time because you're not sitting in your car in traffic trying to get back to town when you never should have left in the first place. All right. Do and learn the lesson from brick and mortar establishments, from big businesses. They don't try to be everything to everybody. They don't try to go all over tarnation. What they do is they try to become a local community-based business and really try to focus on getting those people from within that community. I promise you you're not doing everything you possibly can do to talk to the people in your local community. And that is my challenge to you. Your mission is I want you to stop for a minute and ask yourself, what am I going to do differently to really dominate my market? Have I fine-tuned my niche? Have I really been crystal clear on what it is, what pain point that I solve for people? What's going to make you stand out so that people in that community are going to turn around and recommend you to other people? Are you trying to be everything to everybody? Are you trying to hit every single subdivision? If for example, I told you how we have 18 subdivisions. Well, if I send a postcard to all 18 subdivisions, by the time I circle back around to them, the only people I'm getting through all of that are the people that need me at that moment. But if I focus on 1 or 2 subdivisions and every single month or every 4 to 6 weeks, I send them a postcard, for example, well, guess what? By the time they need me, they're going to go, man, who's that person that I get that postcard from all the time? Or the odds are I'm going to hit them much better at that moment because they're thinking about it when they see my postcard. It's creating that familiarity, if you will, because they know that there is somebody there that does it. So at the end of the day, just do me a favor. I promise you, I get people reaching out to me all of the time that tell me that just by focusing on their 5-mile radius and really dialing into that, it has changed and transformed their business and they make a lot more money. It is probably one of the single biggest things that I get feedback on that people have great success with. So I'm just challenging you to do the same thing for your particular business. All right. And by the way, make sure you know your business numbers. Okay. You got to understand those business numbers. And I'm telling you, if you look at the business numbers and how much money you're wasting and spending on gas and on your vehicle wear and tear and all that other good stuff and running back and forth to places, you're going to find that you're going to be way more profitable by focusing local as well. All right. With that, I'm going to get out of here and I will talk to you on the next episode. Bye for now. Hey, badass business owner, before you go, as you know, I'm a huge believer in you knowing your business numbers. After all, it isn't about how much you sell, it's about what you keep. And the best way to grow your profits is to start diving in and understanding those business numbers. To help you on this journey, I have created the Know Your Business Numbers course. We will walk through how to read your profit and loss statement. You'll learn the key calculations that'll help ensure that you're making a healthy profit on all of your products or services, plus a ton of other good stuff that'll help you learn how to use those business numbers to create even more sales and profits. Just check out the link below in the show notes or visit knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. So if you're ready to increase those profits, it's time you start diving into your business numbers.